What are the cycles fathers pass down that sons are left to heal? What if being a man wasn't about holding it all together, but learning how to let go? This is a space where men speak truth and find the power to heal and transform. I'm Mike Della Rocha. Welcome to Sacred Lessons. Some stories are born before we are. Some legacies are already singing when we arrive. Welcome to Sacred Lessons. I'm Mike Della Rocha. Today I'm sitting with a brother whose life, like mine, has been shaped by sound, by legacy, and by fathers who changed the world. Salvador Santana, musician, producer, and the son of the legendary Carlos Santana. But what moves me is not his fame, the Grammys, or the stages. It's Salvador's heart, his warmth, his humility, and the way he uses music to forge his own path while honoring the one that he's inherited. As someone raised in a movement household myself, with a father whose convictions shaped so much of who I became, this conversation feels deeply personal to me. Because when your father is larger than life, you spend years figuring out where his sound ends and where yours begins. My brother.
Man, so grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
You reminded me when you walked in that it's been a decade.
That's wild.
And then it hit me, though, that we met when my life was fully transformed and turned upside down, because it's been a decade since my dad had left me.
Wow.
And I didn't even realize that till you said it.
Wow.
So one, just first off, before we jump in,
Sure.
I want to say thank you for being on this podcast. I want to say thank you for who you are. I usually start with having the guests talk about who they are, but I actually want to flip it, because the way I met you was actually through your mom.
That's right.
And your mom stopped me. I was on a boat at Summit Series.
That's right.
And she went and found me. She said, "You know what? You remind me of my son. Would you mind if I connected you?" And I had no clue who she was. I was like, for sure. She just had this expansive, beautiful heart. And I say in the book, Sacred Lessons, like, no story is complete without talking about your mom. And I'm a mama's boy.
Yeah.
And so, I just want to start with your mom, and then we'll get into you. But
Sure.
Tell us about your incredible mom first, then we'll go in.
Oh my gosh. Man, you almost caught me off guard with that question there. That's a beautiful question. My mom, she's my hero. Mm-hmm. She's everything to me, man. She gave me life. Basically gave me the first real understanding of love, investment, care, nurture, and everything like you just said. She's no story is really complete until we've had an opportunity to honor our moms and our motherly like figures in our lives. And for her, man, she's everything. Like you said, our dads and my father. People know him. Some dude who plays some guitar a little bit here and there, and some people know him here and there. But man, my mom's she's a legend in herself, and I'm just so grateful, and not just for my mother too, of course, but for my grandmothers as well. My mom's mom and mi abuelita. So I want to thank you for presenting that opening topic. I want to give my mom's flowers, my grandmother flowers, mi abuelita flowers. Man, the strong women in my life, man, they definitely raised me for sure. And that's why I'm maybe I look kind of tough on the exterior, but honestly, man, I'm just a like you said, I just try to have a big heart with a lot of humility, and just to be as kind and respectful, and to honor energy is what my mom, my grandmothers, and a lot of, especially las mujeres, a lot of the strong women in my life, man, they taught me how to be kind, be respectful, make the world that much better wherever you go. And to also just have love and care for yourself too, and that's not being selfish, And especially for us, it's not just a gender thing, but especially an older generation of us dudes learning how to reprogram ourselves by navigating how to, I don't know, live in such a tough but very sensitive world at the same time. So I like finding, like on a chessboard, I like being right there in that center, those four squares, the centerpiece. I like staying centered, and I like being present. And yeah, man, the women in my life, growing up, man, they definitely taught me so much and how to raise me to be the man that I am to this day.
Yeah, we were talking about the picture of me as a little boy and my dad on the cover. And we were talking to Jerry Theo, and he was reminding us about it really isn't about gender, because it is a construct. It's about energy, like you said.
Yeah.
And the four energies he was talking about, the four elements, the four directions, and that we can and do embody all of those energies. And I guess the what is and what should be, we should be able to be expansive in all of ourselves.
Yeah.
But the traditional definition of a man or manhood, like who in your family taught you those things? Or was it society? Was it both? What?
That's a great question, man. You know, definitely my father. You know, he's very present in my life. It was, again, challenging navigating and getting used to my father coming home and, you know, being there for the time to be present and be with us and be with the family and everything. And then he would, you know, go out and tour and be gone for X amount of time. So, I mean, I remember being maybe 6, 7 years old. My dad was going to go on tour, and I don't know if I was prepared for this one or if he caught me off guard. You know, just we're all learning, we're all understanding things, and kind of caught me off guard. And he's literally dropped me off at school, like kindergarten or something. He's like, "All right, bye. I'm going to see you in like 6 weeks." And I'm like, "Now you tell me, like, what the," you know? So the whole day, like, the teachers called home and said I was a wreck, just because emotionally I hadn't prepared myself for that necessarily. And then I just kind of started slowly getting more used to that. And every time he would leave for those tours and for the times that he had to be gone, he would remind me that I'm the lion of the house. And that it's my job to protect my mom, my two sisters, since I'm the oldest brother, my grandmothers, and my aunts when they would come over. Like, other than the dog, I am surrounded by estrogen. Like, I have I have no choice, you know. But at the same time, it really strengthened me to be that much more, again, solid, but a healthy form of sensitivity and not hyper awareness, but just awareness around me and things of that nature. So my dad definitely taught me how to be, you know, strong and how to be tough. He also reminded me too that, yeah, people are going to try and test you. You know, you have to learn how to, like Julio Cesar Chavez, you got to learn how to put them up, and, you know, just only if you have to for self-defense. So I, you know, learned how to do that stuff really at an early age. But also at the same time, my dad reminded me too, he's like, yo, there's no harm in walking away from fights. You know, you're not less of a man, you're not less of a boy, you're not less of any. Yeah, people are going to make fun of you and call you chicken and all this stuff, but, you know, you're not any less. You know, life is precious. So I think that those types of lessons are incredibly important, because it's, you know, it's not just how you shape a young boy or girl and watching and helping them grow up and assisting, but it's shaping a young soul, you know, being able to exist in this life and how to navigate and be as healthy and content and comfortable with yourself as possible. Because for a long time, man, I'll be honest with y'all, for a long time, it felt like for years I was just adjusting into my own seat, right. You know. And then once my son was born, I realized what my main purpose, other than playing music and participating in life, was. I'm here for him, you know, point blank.
Before we get into your son, because I can't wait.
Yeah.
What were the lessons growing up in a household predominantly of women? You shared some beautiful gifts your dad taught you. What did the women and your mom and your abuela and your sisters teach you?
Absolutely. It's just as simple as being kind, being gentle, holding the door open for, you know, the elderly ladies, maybe with their grocery bags, you know, just helping somebody across the street, just being kind, saying hello, you know, things of that. And just being a custodian and an ambassador of our DNA, and our lineage and everything like that. Yeah, just to be also mentally and spiritually stable, I think is a big thing. And that wasn't necessarily like taught like this is how, mentally and spiritually you stay stable 101 and here we go. Like class is in session. It's like it wasn't really that. It was more just like certain experiences, moments, opportunities that I found myself in where I was like, okay, I have a choice. I could either be extra with it, but nah, that's not how I was raised. I wasn't raised to raise my voice at ladies. I wasn't raised to like, obviously, nothing like that. I was raised to be respectful, is a big thing. And that's what I'm teaching my son as well too, to be kind, be respectful, not just to everyone else, but mostly also to yourself too. If you can respect yourself, you can respect others and allow others to be respectful of you too. So there were many things, but definitely respect. That was all the ladies, all the women in my life, especially growing up, definitely taught me and reminded me. There were very few times where I was needed to be reminded, but yeah, definitely it was a beautiful reminder how to be respectful.
So then with your son, were there things you had to unlearn to be I don't want to say more, to be a present, loving father with him?
Oh man, absolutely. So many things that we watched our parents and just the people that we grew up with, and that when they were elders, we were growing up, they were OGs, and we were young YGs, and now we all together type thing. Yeah, so many different things, man. Really, honestly, the main one that I've had to not only, it's not reprogram, it's more like taking a deeper dive in. Patience. Paciencia, man. Más paciencia. Have to have more patience. And just taking a beat, taking a breath. Again, being present and having the patience to be present. Yeah, man, because especially in this life, this world, just the pace of everything, it's got to be instant. With the phones, with everything is instantaneous. We want it now. It's got to happen right now. We expect immediate results. And raising, everybody's different, but for me, raising my kid, man, he reminds me to have the deepest amount of patience with him, the calmness, being calm but assertive, almost like the dog whisper guy used to say, kind of thing. But yeah, like definitely for me, it's having to unlearn all the stuff that I reminded myself didn't really work, when we were kids and watching adults raising us, and then realizing, okay, now I have an opportunity to do that, as opposed to, oh, well, it worked then, or that was done then, so therefore it must work now, and let's be terco, let's be stubborn about it. And I'm just like, nah, we have opportunities, and otherwise we become our own obstacles. Right. We get on our own way. And for me, raising my son, just me being here for him, that's out of all the things that I do in this life, that's the one that I take the most serious. And I'm just have so much. There's so much joy that and knowledge that comes with those experiences, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So love you, Stevie. Love you, son.
Love you, Stevie. on the love you, your relation with your dad, did you have one where you would say I love you to each other?
It's a very beautiful question. Absolutely. My dad made it a consistent flow. I want to say a habit, like a very consistent flow to say I love you to me growing up. And I do it with Stevie all the time. It's not even just because we're Latino and we're very affectionate by default. But yeah, he reminded me that I remember him actually, we were driving across the Golden Gate Bridge, and he just, not like in a weird way or anything, he grabbed my hand just like this, and he looked at me and just said, son, I love you. And I was like, oh, okay. Love you too, Dad. It's kind of weird. Okay. But he then took the time to remind me, he's like, I'm telling you this, son, because my dad, Abuelito, Don Jose, even though I knew he did, he never once told me that he loved me. Like, he never said those words, but he would like pinch my cheek. He would like wink at me. He would grab my hand and kind of squeeze it. Like, there's, again, generational ways of saying I love you. And us men in particular have, especially in the past, not so much now, thank goodness, you don't hear about it as much, but definitely in the past, we had to grow up being like, no, don't say I love you. that type of stuff is for wussies, and don't show affection, don't show emotions. That's, just bottle on and be hard, this and this and that. Men, we don't say I love you to each other and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, there's so many dudes that I say I love you, bro. Like, like when we walked in and had seen each other and it was like forever, man. I was like, oh, I love you, man. So good seeing you and all that stuff. Like there's nothing wrong with that. That's healthy. So I think it's all about I love being in an opportunity to be able to help rearrange narratives and change scripts and things. Because not everything is, there's maybe a few things, but none that come to mind for me except the love that I have for not only God, but for my son. There's not too many things that last forever. So let's keep an open mind about how we can just be that much better than we were, yesterday, today.
And then, they say in my spiritual tradition that our children choose their parents and they choose their fathers because they come into this world knowing what lessons we still have left to learn. Like you said, you're learning the gift of patience with your son.
Yeah.
Are there other gifts your son is currently teaching you?
Oh, man. Yeah. To appreciate life. Every moment, every day, appreciate life. I didn't plan on getting too detailed into it, and I won't, because I'm still personally working through it. But there was my son definitely. He's a fighter. He is a warrior, and that's one of the reasons why I wore this shirt today, because it just felt like he's got that warrior Guerrero like energy, man. He's a fighter. He wants to be here. There was definitely a couple times early on in his. I mean, shoot, just the day he was born, there was a couple of times where life definitely presented the challenge and the possibilities of him not possibly being here. And no parent should ever have to experience a taste of that, let alone the full experience of that. And so he taught me resiliency, that there's certain lives and souls and beings that they are fighting to be here, to live this life, and you hear about so many other people that are on the other side. They're, contemplating checking out. And I'm just like, yo, like, man, me personally, I'm just like, I just could never imagine life being that bad to the point where that's the best option, and my heart goes out to everybody and anybody that's seeking, better days and a better, there's opportunities, there's people to talk to and things of that nature. Don't hesitate. Man, I almost felt like I almost was one of those people on the other side, if something else were to have transpired with my son. But thank God, thank goodness, he literally is the sacred prayers and culmination of the best of our family DNA and legacy. And the fact that he is here, that to me is everything. So he's taught me just how to appreciate life, how to appreciate each moment. You never really know, so let's just enjoy this one, and let's be here for it. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't trip about tomorrow. We can plan ahead and we can remember, but let's also be here right now. So Stevie's definitely taught me that.
Given what you just shared and the blessings, I want to be here.
Yeah.
And I want to give gratitude to Stevie for fighting to be here.
Yeah.
Because in that fighting, you're here. And
yeah.
I didn't know this. And I want you to know not just the love, but the I love you. And this world would have been less loving with your physical presence not here. And I want to honor that and say that, because a lot of folks right now feel like they don't belong. They feel like they're alone.
Yeah.
They feel like, is it even worth living? Is a real thing. And a lot of these conversations have been medicine for me, because they've been reminding us of like, we need each other. Like a part of me would no longer be present if you weren't breathing. Obviously, you're always going to be with us and with me spiritually, but the physical is a different thing.
100%.
So
thank you, Mike.
Just want to say thank you for holding on.
Absolutely.
And and I also know like art and specifically music has always been a part of our lives. And like even Sacred Lessons was my love letter to my dad, but it was also my way to tell him things I didn't say when he was physically alive. For whatever reasons. Some of it is time had passed.
Sure.
Some of it is like our relationship wasn't able to get to that point when he was alive where I could grab his hand like your father grabbed yours. And I think about it, the only time I think my dad and I grabbed each other's hands when we would go camping, like in the book. And then the last time was actually when I was holding his hand going into the operating room. And he didn't die right after the operation, but I remember feeling like it was uncomfortable because I wasn't taught to hold my dad's hand, even though like I come from my dad. And I remember just instinctively saying, overcome that mental block because what your dad needs is your physical touch right now.
That's it.
And so I guess my question is, through your music, are there things you're telling your dad or your son that you aren't able to say like just in relation, but you can say through the music?
Oh man, that is such a cool question. That's beautiful. And thank you for that beautiful backstory to lead up to that. That is awesome, Mike. It's interesting you say that as I've, I don't want to say as I've gotten older, yes, but as I progress through life, I'm learning to become that much more courageous. And like you were saying a second ago, not hesitate. If you want to say something to somebody, say it. Text them, email them, send smoke signals, bro, whatever you got to do, man. Communication is everything, and maybe I think if anything, more of the songs and the music I create are for the lives and the souls that I haven't gotten the opportunity to meet or touch quite yet, or like just, interact with yet. But the music is there to remind others that I hear you, I feel you. And if you're going through something or whatever experiences in life you're going through or having, here's something for you, to either enjoy or help you get through. Like you were saying a second ago, know that you're not alone. And sometimes, the music, especially for me, like writing songs that are more instrumental, like less lyrics and things of that nature. Music for me is what emotions sound like. And if anything, it's more just like more than what I didn't get to say. It's all, hey, here's that warm hug that I forgot to give you, or that I wanted to give you. I'm over in New York doing this gig, and my kid's out here in Cali, and maybe my dad's in Vegas or some tour doing something, because Pops is still going, man. He won't quit. There's no quit in him. He's going to keep. That's in all of our DNA. When we find something that we love to do, we don't look at it as work, man. It's our passion. We wake up ready to feed the people, creatively. If anything, my music is just for anyone and everybody that's down to check it out and just enjoy, have a great time. And for me also at the same time too, I want to leave some thoughtful lyrics and concepts and ideas and everything. One of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite poets, artists, Maya Angelou, she said, people are not going to remember you by what you said or even what you did. They're going to remember you by how you made them feel.
Right.
And so in short, yeah, man, that's if anything, that's what I try to do with my music, is to remind people how to feel, like you said, how to be not only how to be present, but like you said, to remind them of their inner light and their worthiness of being here. That's what I learned from my father. That's what he learned from his father. Actually, quick thing, both my grandfathers are also musicians.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it wasn't just like, it's not just my dad. Mi abuelito over here. He's a mariachi musician, violinist, singer. I mean, man, he would just, the way he would sing Bésame Mucho, he would just serenade her. I mean, he was that dude. He was that dude. And my dad, he'll tell anybody in any interview, he's like, man, all my dad wanted to do was just grow up to be like his dad. That's really all he did. And for me, it's not that I wanted to grow up and be exactly like my dad. I wanted to I wanted to grow up and in a way make him and the family proud of who I am and who I'm destined to be. And again, my son reminds me of that as well too. And my mom's dad, Saunders King, also my other grandfather, blues guitarist.
Wow, that's what you got there.
And musician. Yeah. So one was a mariachi violinist, the other was a blues guitarist and jazz guitarist who inspired so many, like B.B. King and peers like Billie Holiday and T-Bone Walker. So our musical legacy, it runs deep, man. It's in our DNA. It's in us, and it has to come out. We gotta release it and share it and offer it with others. So yeah, for me, I can't sit still. I gotta musically, creatively, I gotta be doing something. And I see my son doing it as well too. He'll sit and play the drums. He'll dance when some music comes on and everything. I'm like, bro, the DNA, it's in him. It's there. So we just want to encourage that with him. And yeah, my music's for everybody and anybody that wants to check it out. And I'm just honored and grateful for anybody that it resonates with, you know.
So growing up, having such a beautiful tapestry of different sounds and cultures and backgrounds, was it tough for you, or was it just normalized because this is just who you were?
I'm sure there were many challenges, maybe trying to pick the one challenge I definitely had growing up was there were so many instruments that were being offered to me at the same time, which is great. My dad wanted me to learn drums first. He felt that it was very important because of the musicians that taught him as well too. Rhythm is extremely important. You know, being a live musician, even if you're an EDM DJ or whatever, you still have to learn how to be able to make a crowd move and get up and dance and like feel themselves and just like be in the moment, be present. And so one of the first, my dad would call it a babysitter. My first babysitter was on Betamax, was a video of the African Nigerian drummer by the name of Baba Olatunji and his Drums of Passion. And it was a performance, I believe it was New Year's 1980 something, 1886 or whatever, opening up for the Grateful Dead in the Bay Area. And just, it's like an hour and change of just nothing but drumming, dancing, singing, you know, vocal, just raw energy, no electronics or anything like that. It's just taking it back to the dawn of time, which is song and dance. And I would sit there on these little drums, and my dad wanted me to learn how to just get the timing,
Get the beat.
and everything. Yeah, feel the beat, feel the rhythm, get the timing of everything. And I'm like 2-3 years old, so I can't even reach the bass pedal and the hi-hat. So he's controlling the feet, and I'm up here with the sticks and everything like that. But you know, it's very important and I'm doing that with my son now. I want him to learn how to, if you can go to Juilliard and you can learn how to create these incredible orchestras, sonatas, all these incredible arrangements, harmony, pitch, chords, progression, melodies, blah, blah, blah. We can do all that all day. At the end of the day, if you're a live musician and it's difficult for one to just get a crowd to get up and move and dance and feel themselves and forget about the worries of what was going on in their lives, and they can just let their everything down and just enjoy. With all respect, you're not 100% doing your job as a musician, you know? And that's how I was raised. So the biggest challenge was, okay, drums. And of course, my dad introduced guitar to me. And at the time I was only 6 years old. I hated it. I hated the guitar when I was younger. It was just a lot harder for me to like pluck the strings, just hurt my finger. Oh, and then violin. I was also taking violin also at the same time. I had made that thing sound like a dead cat every time I played that thing, man. It so turned me off, you know? So I just kind of stuck towards the drums, but my folks really were like, he's got the rhythm now. We need to get him into more like chords and pitch. So they introduced me to piano and the keyboards. And man, from day one, someone once told me it's like an orchestra at your fingertips. It's right there. You got the piccolos, you got the high strings, you got the violas, the violins, violas, cellos, you got everything. It's all right here. And I don't know, it just made so much more sense seeing things on more of a horizontal, like on a horizon, and more linear, rather than, I guess, this way. It just made a lot more sense. So yeah, piano's my main gig, my main axe. Drums will always be my first love, and now I play a little bit of guitar, more bass. And I just try to learn a little bit of everything, you know. But yeah, that was probably the biggest challenge, was trying to figure out my voice, my sound, my mission control, my comfort zone, just the thing that spoke to me. And I love what you said a second ago, Mike, about how kids, before they're born, they select their parents and everything. I also feel like the same thing with art and music in particular. Like I didn't choose this life; it chose me. Being a musician, and the only choice was really, okay, how do you want to express yourself? Which instrument or what instruments do you want to choose to express yourself? And piano made the most sense to me. And what am I, 40 something? So yeah, I've been playing piano for almost 40 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does piano touch you about life, those chords?
Ooh. You know, piano's taught me, again, so much, how to just respect, be available, enjoy, even the challenges of learning these incredibly difficult and crazy, like classical or jazz pieces or things like that. But also too, man, music saved my life in so many ways. It kept me out of trouble. Thank goodness, like I didn't grow up in any like crazy neighborhoods or anything like that. The Bay Area is a trip, man. It's a beautiful place to grow up. But like anything, there's pockets and stuff. But definitely when I got to high school and when I went to San Francisco School of the Arts and into the city, in the city proper and everything like that, there were some kids that are incredibly talented, but you know, they were still coming from like Hunters Point, and they were still coming from like the Mission, and they were still coming from like Oakland, and like, you know, some real rough areas and stuff. So even though they would have a beautiful break from that environment and come, and we can all, I guess, in a neutral zone, just get along and learn about each other's artistic, uniqueness and qualities and everything like that. There was a couple times where a couple friends of mine would, you know, invite me back to some of their areas and everything, and I thought it would be like an artistic like jam or things like that. But you hear about, oh, Snoopy, you heard about Snoopy? No, what happened to Snoopy? Oh man, he got caught up in so we were sitting on the corner, and that party you were going to go to, Salvador, yeah, he was on the corner, and some dudes just rolled up on him and took him out. And I was like, dang, I just saw Snoopy like on Friday and it's Monday. He's like, yeah, well. And so I just thinking about moments like that where it doesn't seem like a big deal. It was impactful for me as a 15 to 17-year-old in high school, learning like, oh, this stuff is real. And even though I'm a teenager and I feel immortal, I'm not Superman. And so I need to really buckle down and just stay focused on this music thing, on this journey, and stay on this path. Because I know this is safe. This is not only healthy. This is what I'm destined to do.
Right.
So yeah, in a way, music saved my life, man. The piano taught me how to just not only stay out of trouble, but just enjoy what you have, rather than going out trying to, you know, seek for more that you don't necessarily need.
Has the music taught you anything around masculinity or manhood in particular?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in some ways, just being on stage, you know, when I'm a band leader, okay, I'm leading.
Right.
In that regard, everybody else respectfully is therefore following. Just like in a dance, there's a leader, and then there's a lead and a follower in a way. Usually, like, you know, for the men, they're the ones that are looking good and everything like that. And then that's the ladies that are just dazzling, just spinning around and just making all these incredible, amazing moves, especially in like flamenco or like tango, like different dances. And yeah, so there's a time when to lead, and then there's a time to accompany, you know, and to assist. And so being a band leader and a band member on stage, different roles, being a lead role as an actor, if I was to do that, and to be a supporting role, it's understanding what our roles are and what our jobs are, and how to just do them as best as we can, so that we can, however many people are involved in the project or in the experience, we can all be on a path towards being set up for success in that regard. And then again, yeah, also too, I think just Well, I mean, yeah, sure. There's like, there's, I've had a band where I've had all dudes. I've had a couple of bands where I've had a female, a lady vocalist and a lady keyboardist as well too. So it's beautiful to have a collection and a variety of different energies. Again, it's not just about gender, but just
Right.
energies. And it's taught me to remind myself, okay, there's things that we can say and what have you. And then there's things it's like, okay, it's not appropriate to say. And what have you. Again, like what the strong, beautiful ladies taught me in my life growing up, just be respectful. Just be respectful. So, yeah, if anything, it's just a continuation of being conscious and mindful of how to just make the experience that much more enjoyable and comfortable for everybody involved, including oneself, including me. So, yeah, just being gentle and aware.
Well, thinking about that 2-year-old that couldn't do the kick on the drums.
Yeah.
And then the 4-year-old that was introduced to the guitar.
Yeah.
What would the 2 or 4-year-old Salvador tell the Salvador today?
Oh, man. The 2-year-old would probably say, this is a lot of fun. You know, this is so much fun. I'm having a blast. I think the 4-year-old would be crying and be like, please don't make me do this anymore. Please make it stop. You know, it's so interesting you say that, because lately I've been having a lot of conversations with my inner child, a lot lately. And again, maybe it's just being around my son that much more, and watching him grow up. Now that he's 7, I'm literally, and the fact that he, from what everyone tells me, he's literally like what does he say? He's like a mini twin. We're twinning over here. So it's like when I see him, I'm literally looking at a little version of me, and I literally see my 7-year-old self when I'm looking right at him. So if anything, I just get a chance to heal that much more. And I love how you dive into that, not only in your book, but in this awesome series and congratulations again, Mike, for inviting me first and foremost. I'm so honored to be a part of it, and congratulations for just this. This is so cool, man. What a cool experience. And yeah, so if anything, I'm learning how to just heal that much more and heal that inner child and to do that in order to be the best version of myself on the reg for my son. I want him, he deserves to have that constantly. And so for me, that's, to answer your earlier question, yeah, that's probably what the 2-year-old and the 4-year-old version would say. This is fun and I'll make it stop. But the 7-year-old version would definitely be like, thank you for these opportunities and thank you for introducing me to the piano. This is a game changer. So it's more about gratitude and healing. I feel like are the main motifs and themes so far of this conversation, and I love that.
On the healing tip,
yeah,
because I have a mini me too. He's 12 though.
Oh, that's right.
I don't wish anything. I miss him being 7 because that's a magical number 2.
Yeah. It's a powerful number.
But when you're looking at him and you're looking at yourself, and I always say, like, I know what my son's going to do before he does it, because I'm like, that's exactly what I would have done. Yep. And you're talking about healing in the inner child. Is there something that you need to say to your son to tell yourself in your own healing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every day, that's a beautiful question. Thank you, Mike. Every day, before we go out, and he goes to school, or before we just go out into the day or whatever. And even if just when he gets out of bed, we have this little, I guess it's an affirmation, more or less. And it's really just, so what are we going to do today, Stevie? We're going to be kind to ourselves. That's right, son. We're going to be kind to ourselves. How are we going to do that? Keep our hands to ourselves, keep our feet to ourselves. We always promise to love ourselves and protect our head. So
protect your head.
Yeah.
Why? Tell me.
The main reason, honestly, is because of his medical history and his fragility. A lot of what had happened earlier on in his beginnings had to do with his la cabeza, within his head. And so I'm still healing from it. And honestly, this is the most I've been able to talk about it in the last 6-7 years. But basically, he's had 4 head surgeries before the age of 6. The people over at everybody, just the doctors, the nurses, everybody over there at CHLA, the medical teams, they've just been exceptional, just outstanding, just incredible. And without them too, could be a whole different conversation and everything. So I've just come from a place of, again, gratitude and healing. And so, yeah, that's why we always say, keep our hands, feet. Yeah. Promise to love ourselves. Cause that's huge. Promise to love yourself. If you love yourself, you're vain or you're selfish or you're conceited. It's like, no, not necessarily true. In fact, actually it's the opposite. I think vulnerability is a superpower. And having respect and love for oneself in a healthy way, I think that should be normalized. Let's talk about that more and make that more of a thing. So, in doing so, I'm reminding myself to keep my hands to myself. Unless, somebody wants to try me, then we'll see what happens, Julio Cesar Chavez. Keep my hands, feet, promise to love myself, be respectful. Don't let anybody else disrespect you too, choose our opportunities. Instead of saying pick my battles, I choose my opportunities. There's a time to, okay, this person's trying me. Let's see what are the options where I can stand up for myself. And there's times where like, you know what? Ain't worth it. It's all about energy. It ain't worth it. I got way too many important things going on today. You ain't worth my time or energy. So it's about being selective and reminding, again, my son and reminding myself, we all have choices and opportunities on the daily. And as long as we are present, aware, and have that love and healthy love and appreciation for ourselves and therefore for others, I think it's going to be all Gucci, man. It's going to be a good day.
I want to share something that
Please.
Is really coming through loud and clear for me right now to share with you.
Please.
Because when I asked about the head, first off, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing, because I know it's hard, this navigating private, public life. Very hard, especially this day of age.
100%. And
when we said the head, not knowing that, in the Ifa tradition, your ori, which is your purpose, is in your head. So when we say protect your head, it's because you have to protect your ashe, your purpose, your gift of what you're bringing into the world.
Beautiful.
And that's why in the morning I always put cool water on the top of my head to keep me cool from not reacting to what life has.
There it is.
But your son, you saying to Stevie, the last thing you're saying is protect your head. When you're saying it is obviously protect your physically, but I'm hearing it, protect your spirit, protect your purpose, protect your life. And so Stevie is reminding all of us by his mere existence and presence that we all have a divine purpose here.
Yes.
And our roles as fathers and community, as friends, is to protect that spirit, that purpose, that love.
100%. Provide and protect. That's what it is. I love that. That is so cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But that is so cool. Yeah, you're right. It's more than just the literal physical protecting your head. It's like, protect you, your being, your soul, your spirit, your just everything. Protect you. We're all one of ones,
right?
So let's protect that.
Before we go into, we always end with this thing called the Sacred Five.
Yeah.
We're spiritual beings in a physical body.
Yep.
And you got to see all sides of an extension of yourself, potentially navigating multiple sides. It sounds like nothing's been left said, but what would you like 10 years from now? Your son is listening to this podcast. What do you want to tell him?
Oh my God, how proud I am of him, how much I love him, and everything I do is for him, and just how proud I am of him and how much he's again, I sound like a broken record, but how much he's taught me to be just not only a better father and a better man, but just a better human being, every day, just be better. You did great yesterday. Yeah, but that's still not good enough. I want to be better, and just how much he's loved. Like you were saying a second ago, how much he inspires so many, and how we all have that capability to be able to choose to be an inspiration for multiple, for others, for so many. Yeah, just to know how much he's loved, how proud his dad is of him. And man, just he's already a force now, man. He's going to be a force later, just like your son, I would imagine too. All these kids, man, they're this generation, it's a thing. They all have this individual, conviction about them. They know who they are. Like we all knew who we were to a degree, but we still had an opportunity to kind of search a little bit more and discover. Man, I feel like the majority of these kids, they know exactly who they are from the jump. And I'm not mad at that. I love it. And so if anything, it's more about just, okay, if you know who you are, then not only own that, but also let's leave some room to discover more as well too, and expand rather than limit, based off of others and things of, opinions, which doesn't really matter at the end of the day anyway. So yeah, man, I just want him to know how proud I am of him, how much he's loved, and he already is, and how much he's going to be a force when he does listen to this conversation in 10 years. And hopefully he'll still think his dad is cool in 10 years from now, because he'll be 17. So more times than not, he'll be like, oh, Dad, you're embarrassing me. And I'll be like, I know, but you know what? That's what I'm here for. So.
And do you feel like your dad feels the same way about you? 100%.
100%. And, my dad, I'm a grown ass dude. I'm in my 40s. My dad's, in his, he's in his later years and everything like that. He still doesn't hesitate to figure out ways to embarrass me. Not necessarily on purpose. He just does it. So it's like, you're just never too old for that. But yeah, man, my biggest goal, I'll leave it at this, because man, the rush you get when you're on stage performing, as you know, Mike, or just being in any atmosphere that we get to create, that rush is everything. So I can't wait for Stevie to experience that. And then my biggest goal in life is to have myself, my father, in no particular order, myself, my father, and Stevie all on stage at the same time performing together, because there's not too many people that can say we got 3 generations on stage performing at the same time. So that's my big goal, and we're going to make that happen very, very soon. Hopefully you're there with us, Mike.
Give me an invite for that.
I got you, my G. I got you.
Well, last question before Segment 5. I want to end with this because it was so powerful. You said vulnerability is a superpower. Elaborate on that before we close.
Got it. What I mean by that is, it gets the concept of being tough and being hard and all that stuff. Yes, that's a choice and everything like that. But me personally, man, that gets exhausting after a while. It really, really does. And just walking around with all this armor and all this luggage and all this, feeling like I'm in the Marines, and I'm doing that one of those hardcore trainings type thing, okay, cool. You did that, but it's like you do that every single day for years. After a while, bro, it becomes exhausting. And I had to learn how to not be like, I had to learn how to be tough emotionally and physically, and also therefore mentally, but also I had to be very radically acceptive of my son's journey in the beginning of his medical history and fragility very early on in that journey. I mean, having professional doctors and medical people literally coming up to you a lot saying that, he might not make it and things of that nature. It put me in a place where I had to be tough, but also at the same time, I had to be in my feels. I had to feel these feelings of the possibilities of all that stuff. And then it got to a point, Mike, honestly, my dude, where I was like, there's certain things I can accept, and then there's certain things I refuse to accept. Absolutely not. I know that God has a purpose for all of us. God has a purpose specifically for my son, and my son wants to be here. I know God will guide the doctor's hands. I know God will listen to all of our prayers. And as long as I'm there, present, doing my job, waiting, willing, and available for my son, if he needs me, and if anybody needs me, I'm there, I'm present. And so then that's when I found out how vulnerability can be that superpower. Being vulnerable, not being afraid to be like, oh wow, this is a reality, but also at the same time, it's like you still have choice. One still has choices within those realities, and my choices were, you can still be here for him, and you can still be present, and you're not less of a man, you're not less of a person by showing those vulnerabilities. Oh, and being strong and stoic for others that they need a break. They need a break. Some of my other family members that knew about what was going on too, they had to tap out. It was too much for them, and I get it. But for me, I was like, that's my kid. It's never too much for me. I'm here. So that's specifically what I meant for vulnerability as a superpower, but it could be anything. Me being on stage, and I make a flub, it's like my solo, and or whatever. And it's just like, oh, I just shrug my shoulders, and then I do another riff, and people are like, oh, that's so cool. It's how you play it off, man. It's just how you move is basically what you're communicating to everybody else, who you truly are, and how you react or don't react under pressure.
Right.
So yeah, vulnerability is a superpower.
Vulnerability is a superpower.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Well, the Sacred Five is how we end.
Okay.
I ask 5 questions. You answer in a word or a sentence.
Okay.
And it's like practical takeaways for folks that are watching or listening.
Okay.
So the first question, name 3 things that make you feel safe, connected, and whole.
Ooh. I feel like I just mentioned them. God, family, and music.
What song, book, or prayer brings you back home to yourself?
Oh, man. Oh, that's a great question. Man, you know what? There's this beautiful song called Peace, Peace by Bill Evans. The composer, pianist, did a lot of arrangements for Miles Davis, and it's called Peace, Peace, like a piece of cake or something like that. And it's just a acoustic piano solo of his for about 6 or 7 minutes, and it's just such a beautiful journey. I put it on for if life gets a little stressful and everything like that, I need a palate cleanser. I just put that song on, and I'm immediately centered and right back into it. So Peace, Peace by Bill Evans.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, check that one out, man. Let me know what you think.
What's one daily ritual or practice that grounds you?
Oh, man. I have so many. I think, honestly, now there's so many that there's so many I could choose from, but I think the one that I touched on earlier, the little one that I do with my son, I really think that one has become more prominent, and it's become more of a part of just the daily flow. Again, like you said, a ritual and part of a habit. So just honoring our inner child and our inner selves, to be that much more present, kind, and respectful of everything else and everyone else. So keeping hands, feet to ourselves, love ourselves, protect our head. Or what was our aura?
Ori.
Our Ori. There it is.
That's funny. You said it for him, but it's saying it for both of you, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, that's probably the one.
All right. What's one small action that listeners can take today on their healing journey?
Oh, man. Whatever that ritual, like you described, that centers somebody, or whatever brings you back and makes you whole to the individuals and everyone listening and watching, streaming, interacting with us, you do that for yourselves, whatever that is, as long as it's obviously not harming or doing anything like that, anybody else or anything like that. If it's sacred and it's meaningful and it's beneficial, it's nutritious spiritually and energetically, I say do that, man. Dude, there's never enough of that. So to each their own, and whatever that is to that individual and to those folks, y'all do that, man. For me, I'm just going to go and hang out with my son and record some music and get into that creative flow and creative tip. So,
last question,
yes,
Salvador. Share a one-line blessing or quote that inspires you.
Oh, man.
I mean, you shared one earlier, but
which one was that?
the Maya Angelou one.
Oh, dang. That was a good one. I should have saved that. Oh, man. You know what? So it's funny. I have these lyrics in one of my songs called Fantasy Reality. And one of the lyrics is on there is great achievement sometimes takes a great risk, but I'm on a hot streak, and with luck, I never miss. And so for me, the way I just dissect those lyrics is basically nothing amazing or impactful or unbelievable gets done that often when we hang out in our comfort zones. We got to expand. We got to be a little uncomfortable in order to make some noise, in order to make something amazing happen sometimes. So great achievement sometimes takes a great risk, but I'm on a hot streak. And what that means is I'm on the spiritual win streak. And with God, with luck, I use luck because, I just want to be respectful and everything. But with God, with love, that spiritual connection, we can't miss. So it just reminds me to just trust the process, spiritually and energetically speaking. And great achievement takes a great risk. I'm on a hot streak. With luck, I never miss.
There it is.
Appreciate that, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We could probably talk, and we'll talk for hours.
First of many, many more.
I usually end by sharing a couple things that really stood out.
Please.
The three things that are percolating is, one, the shout out to the women, to the moms, the sisters, the grandmothers, abuelitas, that really are our first teachers of love. We always say that there's no order to life. It's all copacetic, and we need all energies. But the primary energy that my elders have taught me has always been the feminine.
Absolutely.
What comes first, the chicken or the egg, And we are not here without the women and the feminine spirit. So It's funny that we started that way. That wasn't the plan, but it was the plan. So number one, that's what came up. The second thing is that you said something so profound around rewriting narratives, and that it's so beautiful to hear your story, unfolding story with your grandfathers, with your father, and now being a father.
Yeah.
And how from day one, even though the dominant society may want us not to express our love for our children, specifically fathers to sons, that you have shared a profound story of fathers and sons physically holding each other, and not just saying I love you, but contextualizing it.
Yeah.
I'm saying this because my father didn't tell me this, or because whatever happens to me, I want you never to not know, but I want you to feel that your father loves you.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I take away in the deepest part of my soul is the profound joy that is found in the darkest of places.
Yeah.
In the teacher that is known as grief, and the teacher that is known as death. And the Buddhists say that you have to lean into death in order to enjoy life, because then you appreciate every second, every moment, every breath. Yeah. And as someone that has known you for a decade but not known how close to the other side two people came, your son and you.
Yeah.
And then to be able to sit here and express to yourself, to your inner child, and to your son, and to your partner, and to your family, that we have each other.
That's right.
And that no matter what the doctors say, Creator has plans. Things may be written, things may not be. But what I do know for a fact is that that relationship and that near-death experience with your son has made you even more of a loving human being. You've always been loving, bro, but today, in this moment, Stevie is the heartbeat of not just you, but of all of us.
Oh, thank you for
and
saying
so
that.
Thank you for the situation. Thank you for everything.
Oh, man. Thank you.
And
Mike.
To Stevie, you are a light that no words could describe. You are, there's not even a sound that can get close to how godlike you are. And so, and I'm only able to say that confidently because I know you. So thank you so much.
It's a high honor. Thank you, Mike,
for being here. I have to be invited to that show with your dad, your son, and you.
Oh, it's mandatory. If we're not doing it unless you're there. Absolutely.
And I truly am so grateful for you being so open and honest today.
Thank you for making it a beautiful, safe, strong but vulnerable place to safe place to share.
Yeah.
That's everything, man. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for listening. Thanks for checking it out.
Right on. All right. Thank you.
Blessings, man. Thank you, Mike.
Sacred Lessons is a production of iHeart's My Cultura podcast network, Sacred Lessons Media, and the Prince Group. For more of your favorite shows, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.